Hey up YouTube, take these off so I can at least, oh god, wow. I might have put them back on, sorry. I hate filming with sunglasses on, I think it's rude, but it's a bit of a necessity. Yeah, it appears my eyes have got a little used to them. Yeah. Here we are, surrounded by the brown cliffs of Holderness again. I've come to, I think this is a new mark for me. I've come to Mapleton. Down the big ramp. I'm pretty sure this is, I'll have to go back over my videos, but I'm pretty sure that this is a new mark for me. I don't know. Sorry, I keep getting stuck on that thought of is it a new mark. And I've had a hell of a time setting up. You ever have one of those days where perhaps you should have just not bothered? I might be having one of those days. I'll roll the intro and I'll talk a bit more. See you in a sec. Sorry if I'm, not that you can really tell, but sorry if I'm not looking at the camera or if it looks like I'm looking round you. I've just got all three rods out. I've had a hell of a time. First one, up and out, no problem. 3 up flapper, 20-30 yards, happy days. That's sat out there for a while. In fact, it's probably sat out there for far too long, but it's got squid and mackerel on. I've checked it once and the bait was still in, you know, mint condition, so I just resent it. And then I goes to send out the grey shadow. I put my only 2 up, yeah, I think that might be a bite developing. Let's come down to rods. It could be lead settling because I've got a gripless lead on, but I'll talk from behind the camera and we can watch that bite, see if it comes on. Can you see rod tips? I think you can. Yeah, so what you're looking at is the left hand rod. So it is a gripless lead, so it could just be the lead travelling. So yeah, I came down, so I rigged it all up, got a nice, some lovely bait on it, got a nice chunk of peeler crab and a nice squid and bluey wrap. Sent it out and got one mother of all, well, I don't know whether it was a backlash or a bird's nest or a wind knot or whether there was something already in the line. But But yeah, it cracked off. I'm hoping I'm going to hook it and bring it in because I don't like leaving. It's not that I'm that bothered about the rig. I just don't want to leave it out there because it's probably this side of the low tide line. So I'd rather not leave it there if I can find it. I'll have a look if I'm still here at low water to see what happens. I'm going to have to move back soon. The tide sort of didn't move for ages and then it's zoomed in. So yeah, then I've changed that to a paternoster rig, a paternoster hair rig with just a single piece of peeler on it. And what else? What else have I done? And then on the one that I think's had at least a knock on it, I don't think there's a bite on it. I've sent something I don't normally do. I've sent a 3-hook clip down out at distance with a 5-ounce gripless lead on it. I say gripless, it's one of the shore cast gripless leads that's supposed to kind of grip, but without wires. So, you know, we've sent it out there and we'll see what happens. There is a bit of weed knocking around, so the twanging could just be weed hitting the line. There's no real way of knowing. We are fishing down here at Mappleton. It is I want to say 6.9 metre tide, but I'm not too sure, I haven't checked it. Looking at the tide line from last night is why I've picked this area of beach, because the get down is actually, let me show you, the get down is way over there, if it's showing up on screen. For some reason the screen's really dark. Oh, it's the glasses, isn't it? Yeah, so the get down is like right over there. I've come here because if I need to, I can escape onto this bit here. I can exit stage left over there. That's why I've come to this area. I think the rod tips are in frame. There we go. There are some fishermen right down that end. Don't know how they've done. I was already running late, like I said, just having one of those days. I went to go see East Coast Tackle at their new Tatters Hall. I'll put it on the screen. Their new venue. Unfortunately, they were on cash only and I was on credit only, so no fresh bait today. No fresh bait. I've got what I've got and that's all I've got. So what I've got is some bait from hookers. I've sent out on the 3-up flapper off to the far right, I've sent just squid and mackerel. Not a bait I have a great deal of joy on the East Coast. Isn't mackerel, but keeping it in shallow, hoping to pick up any flatties, doggies, things like that. The other two I've kind of got at medium and long, so I've got the paternoster out quite far, and then I've got the 3-up flapper out at medium to long. And the 3-up flapper has got squid and black lug on, so you know, popular baits. Yeah, that's a bite.
Were you open to catch?
Tight lines.
Right. Thank you. Let's have a... Summit's had a sniff. Summit's had a nosy. To rebait that top up. Grip the slides not to wind them in. It's going to move. No, let's check this one. This found the snag that I thought was there. Might have done. Maybe. And it's got the slide on it as well. Probably. No feedback though. Yeah, big chunk of weed. Carrier bag. Sharp put the plastic back in the sea. Bait's still hard. Sharp put the plastic back in the thing. Oh no, I think we are going to have to move back a bit. put the sand spike off to that side, so you guys can go here. There's the rod tips, there they are. All quiet on the east coast. It has been hard fishing on the east coast these last week or so. People that have hit into fish have had some very nice fish. That must be some seaweed on the line. Not going in time with the waves. I want to move it anyway. I'm not getting any joy off to the right, so I want to move it anyway. Give you a quick rundown of this rig. Something similar to something that I tied about a year or so ago, and I got a fair bit of stick for it. But it's a bit of experimentation. So it's just a 3-up flapper. Which all of you should know. It's just made using just recycled bits. we've all got bits boxes, haven't we, full of, you know, little bits and bats that we never actually get around to using up. So I've got on my top hook, I've got, these are all just size 2. What are the size 2 Aberdeens from Seaglon. And behind on this one, I've got 2 booby beads, and they make a bit of noise. On this one, I've got 4 Seaglow Dayglow beads, and then on this one, I've got 3 Gemini pop-up beads or floating beads. So I just want to move this rod to the other side. It's going to be a bit easier for me, casting wise. But I'm going to change the baits on these now. I've been putting it off, but they've been on for the best part of an hour and a half now. So there's not going to be any attractant left in them, is there? I have to cut them off. I had to put some extra elastic on. I think I might have to get the bells out. I don't want to miss any bites. If there's any bites to be had. But each one of these hooks has got a bit of silicone or something just to help hold things together in the right place. All bait, like I said, I did go to East Coast to try and get some fresh bait. Unfortunately, my fault, I didn't have any cash. But do remember, if you come in sort of this side of the coast, so if you come in Aldborough, anywhere near Aldborough, they're literally, if you're coming from inland, they're literally on your way, you pretty much drive past them. From them to here, I think was about 15 minutes. They're at Tattershall Lakes. So I do strongly suggest you use them if you can. But today, because I fluffed up and didn't have any cash, all bait today is supplied by hookers. It's all frozen bait. I don't have a problem with that. I'm happy with that. All I'm putting on these is squid and black lug this time, and it's just a little mini match baits. You know I love them. £2 a pack, you get 5 baits. I've had great success with them. And the one thing that it did teach me that I hadn't done before, or should I say, the one thing that it did teach me was the fact that you don't need big baits. Your baits don't need to be massive. Prior to me working with hookers and them sending me some of these, you know, I think Slam Fishing said it best when I rang him one day. He says, your baits are sometimes like a baby's arm. And I'm thinking they're not that big. Clearly I was wrong. The moment I started using these baits, my hookup rate increased. Especially on things like bass. Even though they've got a big gob, might have a big gob but seem to like small things. And these are the gripless leads from Shorecast. It's a 5-ounce lead, or this one's a 5-ounce lead. They do come in a variety of sizes, and I think they're great. And they do grip. It's strange, but they do. Further than I want. Yeah, the one thing I always have to remind myself is don't wind in people's sleds. Let them find the place first for a minute or two, and then you can wind them in. Right, I'm going to bring in the paternoster because that's had a crab on it for quite some time. It'll probably wash out. Then I'm going to sit down. Go. I just left that for just those few minutes. In those few minutes it found itself and there's held bottom, and then as I've tightened it, it's put a bend in the rod to say, yeah, I've got bottom, I'm nice and firm, I'm good. It's washed out. I was going to say that crab looks alright. And this is a paternoster herring. I think I ran you through them in the last video. But we'll go over it again if you want. If not, you've got the little button where you can click forward in the video a little bit. You know what, I'm going to have a look at the hermit. No, I'm going to try prawn. One prawn. Stop me bending down. Yes, I can. never mind. Got a bit of the nose off, bit of the face off, so the brain juices can escape. Through the back, it says, pulling the hook straight through the belt. Run the hair down the body. Some whipping. That's another bait that I've had next to no success with on these coasts. But some people absolutely swear by it. Whip it nice and tight, hopefully the whipping won't be wrong. Hopefully the whipping will squeeze it a little bit and go. I'm going to put a couple of holes in it as well. I don't know if this is necessary. It can't burn, can it? Just like I say, just in the back of the head, so let some of that brain juice escape. When you eat big prawn, do you suck the meat juice out? There's no way of saying that can't be turned into an innuendo. These are little 4 ounce weights from sea weights. I like to see the word weights. Very, very nice legs. Very nice legs. Both sea weights and shortcast both specialise in this day glow sort of coating. It's great. This rod just never fails. Yeah, I am concerned that I am going to get one. We're approximately an hour and a half away from high, so we'll wait a second. But said the third rig is just a clip down rig. I've just rebaited that. So what I'll do is I'll turn off, and if nothing happens, I'll turn you back on and show you that rig and show you baiting up that rig. And you can't see or hear anything. So for now, tight lines, I'll see you in a bit. I'm pretty sure it's just seaweed on the line. But I think the flapper rig might have something. Either way, I'm going to move it because of the seaweed. don't think that was going to be in shot for you anymore, but anyway, yeah, just a clump of seaweed. Well guys, we're off the mark, but I'm not right happy about it. Can you see it? Drop it down into sand so that I can unhook it. Very slimy, very slimy green eel. I'm not going about, I'm going to get it back. I think that was in one of Marcus's lives where somebody said if you're struggling to hold on to an eel, put it on the sand and use the sand, and that worked a treat. It was a little bit deep hooked, so there was a little bit of blood, but it's gone back fine. And hey, listen, it's not a blank. So, you know, you'll be nothing but happy about that. Especially with the likes of the catch reports today. And I think is a green strap the uncommon one, the rare one? I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to put some fresh baits on there. Luckily, it didn't, I saw the bite, it didn't screw the rig up. The thing is, all resting the little baits are frozen still. Piece of prawn. Pocket. Might have to resend it, rebait. What can I say, Mappleton? Not a blank. Right, okay. So, what's changed? Been fishing about, since the eel, about 15, 20, 30 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe closer to an hour. I've still got the flapper rig out, and I've changed to fishing that really close in, maybe 15, 20 yards. I took off the other 3-hook clip down because that was just not getting touched at all. But my distance rig, the paternoster with the prawn, for example, got absolutely demolished. The prawn was gone for spare, barring a few pieces of shell and the bait elastic. Just gone. Chew marks and all sorts in it. So I think there's something out there. Fingers crossed there is something out there. Now, unfortunately, that was my last prawn. So what I've done is I've put both paternoster rigs on, and once again, I'm not too sure how long I'm going to stay with that. That might change when I next bring one in, because I've got a feeling, looking at the baits that are coming in, it looks as though they're getting chewed on but not taken. So I'm wondering if a pulley pennel with slightly smaller hooks is going to be the way to go. I'm wondering if the baits are a little bit too big, the hooks are a little bit too big, and whatever's out there is feeling the hook and spitting the bait. Fingers crossed, I'm hoping it's a ray. I don't know if the seas are good for a ray. I mean, it's by no means a mill pond, but there's not much in the way of wave or swell. I'm not too sure when the top of the tide is. When I looked, when I was at East Coast Tackle, so around about lunchtime when I looked, it said it was a 6.9 here at Mapleton at 6:30. I've just looked again, and it now says it's a 7.2 at 7:24. So I don't quite know what's going on with the tide. I've come to, like I said, with me not knowing the beach, I've come to an area where I feel I'm pretty safe. There's another area just to the right of me that's about 3 foot even higher than where I'm sat right now. So I feel pretty secure. I've got a marker in front of me on the beach, which is a fire that somebody's had at some point, be it this afternoon or last night or whatever. And so far, for the last sort of 20 minutes, there's apart from the odd rogue wave, the tide has stayed below that. So I'm using that as my marker as to whether or not the tide has turned. Let me know in the comments below, are you finding the same in your areas where you're fishing? The tide apps, the websites, they just seem to be all over the place. And I think I was saying the same thing this time last year. But I mean, the seas are very weird at the moment. I've spoken to 3 or 4, as you know. There's a small group of us, the other YouTubers, and we're all saying the same thing. The sea is still cold. A lot colder than you would expect. For this time of year. And then I spoke to a coarse fisherman who lives just down the road from me. And, well, let me say this first. Me and the other sea fishermen reckon that everything's seems to be about a month behind at the moment. in terms of what's being caught. I mean, the cod are still here, the bass are here, but the bass are here all year round. And the taupe and the smoothie pups haven't really started to show yet. And the pups were showing March last year. No, sorry, not March, April. May. They were showing at the start of May. In, you know, quite a high quantity. And so far, apart from the odd blip, there's not been many of them. So then I went on to speak to a coarse angler, and he said exactly the same with the lakes and ponds. He says one of the ones he fishes at, or his, I can't remember exactly what he said, either he or his son fishes at, is about a month behind on the spawn. Weird. You know, what do you make of it? But yeah, like I said, the baits are getting chewed. The big baits are getting chewed. They're getting eaten, but not taken. I don't know what that means. So I'm going to downgrade on one of the rigs. I'm going to take the hook size down slightly, because those 3.0 Mitsus from Seaglow, their circle hooks, are very big. Not only are they very big, they're a very heavy gauge wire. They're very thick. So I'm wondering if, and I could have missed them now, they could have swum off. I'm wondering if something was there, hopefully is still there, but has felt the hook and subsequently spat the bait and gone. Because I am getting the odd rattle, but not something that is developing into a bite. But I don't know, with the sea state today, I don't know what to fish for. So it's a weird mix between calm, but not quite calm enough, but also not quite rough enough for bass. There's next to no wind. It is a southwesterly, but it's non-existent. It's not affecting the casts. You can't feel it. You can't see it in the shrubberies. You can't see it in the water. I don't know. It's a very peculiar day. And I think rather than send, because at the moment I've got 2 crab baits on, I've got a whole hermit and half those peelers from Hookers are huge. Now, I got mine about a month ago. I went and got them. And I've just brought 1 pack with me today. There's 5 in a pack and they are huge. Oh, what it is, for some reason they don't look that big in the packet. But I've fished with 2 and both of them I've had to cut in half. And both of them were heavy for the size of them. And to be fair, I probably could have quartered them had it not been for the fact that it'll wash out a bit too fast. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one of the crab baits in about 5 minutes, and I'm going to put a smaller pulley rig on, or a smaller paternoster if I've got one. I don't think I have. I'm going to keep one paternoster on with the larger hooks on, and I'm going to put a pulley rig on with size 2.0s on it. I'm going to keep fishing them roughly close together. but I might change one and put fish baits on, see if there's a ray out there. But it's time to decide what I'm doing with this flapper rig. The flapper rig has scored me the first fish. So I think I'm going to stick at it for a little bit. I was going to change it for the clip down rig that I've been using, but I don't see why I should do that when it's scored me my only fish so far of the session. So I think I'm going to stick with it. I'll bring it in, put some fresh bait on it. It's been neglected because I've been sorting those two out. So yeah, I'll speak to you in a little bit. Well, that was a little bit promising. After having silent rods for the best part of the last hour and a half, I changed over, as I said I was going to do in the last clip. Changed over to a pulley pennel on the graze, so the rod closest to you, and I just stuck a whole squid on it. Sorry, camera cut off. But yeah, I just sent a whole squid out. Just snapped the head off so that the head spine body juices were still there, and just whipped it on. Punctured the hood a couple of times, sent it, and within 3 or 4 minutes of it being in the water, the rod tip started after letting the lead settle. I don't know if I missed a bite on it, but I brought it in just to check, and some of the hood had gone, so I sent it back out again. But for now, I don't know what else I can do. I've still got the flapper rig out, I've still got a paternoster rig out with a hair on it, and that's using the Perfection loop on the hook, and then I've put like I said, pulley pennel on with a 2/0 circle followed by a 2/0 pennel, a 2/0 J hook, Manta Extra, Sakuma Manta Extra. But yeah, within minutes of that whole squid settling, fingers crossed something's going to happen. Edge of your seat stuff and all that, innit? Right, we're definitely on the end. The time's 7:30, 6:30. Yeah, time's 6:30. The tide definitely turned before 6:30, so. I'll check the flapper. I'll keep you rolling, we'll check the flapper. I don't think there's anything on it, but it's bait change time anyway. Nothing. The fish baits don't seem to be getting touched. This one was squid and mackerel. First of all, then I'm actually going all the beads and things that I've got on that flapper are not something that I typically do. But I thought I'm going to have an actual go at getting flatties, because I've not seen many of them so far this summer. I thought I'll have an actual go at getting flatties, so I'll put some attractors on. Cool. Say I'm fishing that one close, I'm really fishing that one close. I would be interested to see what features are on this beach as the tide goes out. But I've got about 3 hours before sundown, and I think that's roughly when I'm going to think about heading home. Yeah, my rubbish bag's just full of carrier bags. I mean, I don't want to be a hero. But, the squid rod's twinging again. I don't think it's crabs. I've not seen much in the way of evidence of crabs today. I'm going to wait for a good firm take on that rod. I'll set the drag, sit down, have a chill out for a little bit, enjoy the last bit of the warm weather before it drops a bit cooler. But I will say this for the fishermen. I was having a bit of a chat, a bit of a rant earlier on, a bit of a chat about water temperature. And I've noticed on the leads and baits that I'm bringing in, for some reason in the last hour or two, or whether I've just noticed it, but they're starting to feel warm. And that's even on the ones out at distance. Fingers crossed that's a good sign. For the summer species anyway. Although I'm not going to lie, right now I'd quite love a cod. But I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, I was meaning actually to contact Steve, the fella who reached out to me about maybe going out on a boat at some point. I might speak to him, and I might organise something for the end of this month and set it in stone and, you know, confirm that I'm going to do it. What puts me off is the fact that I do suffer with seasickness. I'm going to try taking some quells and things like that, but I'm not going to know unless I give it a go whether or not they work for me. saying going out on a boat is a good indication of what is out there, what is coming in, where the sea is, where the fish are, what fish are out there. My eyes have been stinging all day. That one I rubbed sunscreen in by accident, and this one now has just started screaming. So I think my antihistamine. Did I take a hay fever? I might not have taken a hay fever tablet. That might be why. I'm going to start changing baits a little bit more rapidly because I'm trying to use up the bait that I've got left. So I'm going to be aiming to head home at around about 9 o'clock at the latest. Oh. You can always resend it. Turn you off, hopefully turn you back on when something's occurred. Speak to you in a bit. And the biggest bite of the day goes to this little guy. A little dab. Give me a right bite. I jumped up to it. Oh, thought I had a bass on. Let's get it back. I didn't turn the camera on first. I'll have to deal with the fish. What bite? Something decent. Massive bite in here. It's still alright, we'll resend it. Gone over that one, but we'll deal with it if we have to later on. That was a proper fluffed cast. I don't do these gentle casts. Yeah, I just looked up and it was bang, 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 bang. Stood up and it stopped. I thought, oh, I'll just check it. Couldn't feel anything on the retrieve, and then as soon as it came into the shallows, flat, flat, flat. Hey, I ain't complaining. 2 species. Happy days. Oh, yeah, there's definitely something out there, but it's not bloody taking the bait. Come on. I'm getting very close. I think I'm going to call it a night within the next half an hour unless something happens. The 2 distance rods, apart from when they've had prawn on, have been completely silent all night. And then those, when I have had a knock, there's been nothing there, no takers. It's not developed into a bite at all. No signs of crabs being on the line. In the close-in rig, that's gone silent now as well, that's fallen silent. I'm getting knocks at distance. I've just sent, oh yeah, that's what's out there. I've just sent half a small bluey. Just to see. It's the only bait that I had in my box that I haven't tried. Hermit not touched, crab not touched, prawn touched, but not by anything that could take the hook, it would seem. Squid and black, that's been hitting me on the, that's all that's hit on the flapper rig. But I'm going to give it another half an hour. I've just put some fresh bait on. I'm going to take the prawn off. So it's had a couple of knocks, but no takers. I've checked it 2 or 3 times. It still had plenty of juice in it, but it probably doesn't now. So I'm going to change the prawn to what? I honestly don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking actually I'm going to change the prawn to squid. Straight squid. And it's going to be last cast. As they come in now, all 3 rods are going to be on last cast. I'm not going to pack down yet because I've still got my hopes up that something might happen. My distance rigs, they've been getting knocks on and off all afternoon. So I've got my hopes up that we still might hit something. But we'll have to wait and see. That, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see the lay of the land. But what else could I do? I've changed rigs. I've tried pretty much every bait that I had. The only thing I've not tried is large squid and mackerel wraps. Yeah, that bluey, it's just, for the size of the bait it's going to be, if something takes it, it's got to be a bit more of a movement. It's only just registering movement. I don't think it's weed on the line. And it certainly won't be showing up on camera. Not that you can see it. I'm going to change the prawn to something. I don't know what. Might use the other half of the bluey. We'll have to see. I'm not cutting open another crab. This will be last bait up today. I've got 2 small baits left. Let's put 2 small baits on this battery. So, fingers crossed for some last cast magic. It's also starting to drop a bit cold now. See you in a bit. That's all from Mapleton today. I'm calling it, I'm done, I'm through, I'm tired, I'm hungry. I want to go home and have something to eat, and it's now getting quite dark. So yeah, not a great day from Mappleton here today, but it's not a blank, it's a new mark. You can't be mad at that. I am mad right at the end when I put the bluey on. I was getting little knocks, and I didn't check my bait after the first knock, and I should have done, because when I brought it in, all the elastic and everything, all the rig was bound up around the lead. So I think something was chewing on it, and it just couldn't take the hook because it was all, I think it messed up in the cast. So I'm really disappointed at that. I then missed a bite on the flapper rig. I should have had bells on that really. And then the paternoster rig with the other bit of bluey on it, well, it's been silent. So I'm going to pat the camera down. If by whatever stroke of God-given luck there's a fish on that when I bring it in, there'll be a photo here now. But until next time guys, stay safe, tight lines, and I'll see you later. In fact, one last thing before I go, I would very much like to know if you would like me to try and do a real service video on the Penn Fathom Mark II and perhaps the Penn 515 Mag 4. If you would like me to do that, please comment down below. I will also post a poll on the community page where you click yes or no. Because it requires a lot of setup, it requires me taking over the living room. So if I don't have any feedback, if people don't want it, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, stay safe, tight lines. Thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing. Until next time, I'll see you later.